You are officially in the incinerator. Welcome to the Alert Zone TV. I'm your host, Uncle James. Welcome to Incense and Common Sense, the live streams that we do here on the Alert Zone TV. Um, Shout out to everybody, whether you catch me live or on the replay. I know you guys see me wear this shirt a lot. It's just my laziness. Shout out to Sci-Fair High School in Houston, Texas. And I wanted to kind of do this message to the youth. And this correlates with those of us that's in the 2A community. It has a lot of relevance to the 2A community. I give everybody a few minutes to join in. You know, I know it's holiday time. You guys and you girls could be doing something else. Yet you guys and girls chose to come and rock with us, and we definitely appreciate that here. So hit the like buttons as you come in. Hopefully, brother Eyes and Ears Tactical will catch me today. Shout out to him for the incinerator. I just went to go see the Final Destination. What's going on, pause and play? I just went to go see the Final Destination movie. It was pretty good. It's a movie. You know what I'm saying? I liked it. So, outside, as you guys and girls can see, it's a pretty good day out here. It's about 70 degrees out here in Marshalltown. Definitely, that's a good thing. You know what? Y'all hold on one second. Be right back. Sorry about that, everybody. I had to go get my piece. I left it inside. I came out with a few things, and yeah, I know I'm home in the backyard, but you never know. You never know. All right, we got 5 wonderful people in here, and let's get those likes up. Make sure you hit the like button. Definitely, that's be a good thing. So, hope everybody having a good weekend on this Memorial Day weekend. Once again, shout out to the ancestors for putting forth the idea of taking a day to remember the soldiers that have fallen uh, in battle. Um, we say here in the Alert Zone, take a moment to remember the people in your life that has transitioned. Um, it's a day of memorial, even though it started with the troops. We can all take something from it. Shout out to Turmeric Outdoors. I know you're going through something. You had 2 real close losses back to back. I'm here for you, brother. If you need anything, just reach out to me. Definitely. To everybody, if you've lost somebody on this journey that we call life, um, just take the time out to remember. You know, my mom was a huge wrestling fan. Uh, um, and I just watched some old wrestling videos on YouTube last night, kind of in remembrance of her. So, yeah, we almost at that 5 minute mark. All right, let's go ahead on and get started. We'll do our little commentary, and then as we go, we'll chit chat and things like that. Um, I decided I wanted to do a message to the youth live Shout out to T Electric and the Gun Freak Nation because he did one recently. We gotta have a discussion with the young men and the young women out here. All of them. This is gonna cut across racial and ethnic lines. Because when we think about young people and crimes, we tend to think about the few crimes we see on the news. But if you go by the mainstream media, it'll lull you to sleep. Instead of telling the youth to put the guns down, my question is, why do you have them pointed up? Why did you pick them up in the first place? We live in a country here in America where there's firearms everywhere. I don't care where you go, you're gonna deal with a firearm. You have people like those people like me that likes to teach them young about firearms because I understand there's more firearms than there are people in this country. And eventually your kid or grandkids or nieces, nephews, if you don't have children, or kids that you're close to, run into firearms. I like to try and educate as best as I can about that. And why you shouldn't take them as a toy. You know, to my young people, I want y'all to understand something. A lot of y'all want to be involved in the street life, but you don't really know what you're signing up for. A lot of y'all want to be involved in a lot of things, and I understand as a young person you get curious. Um, it's not just the street life. Uh, I know a lot of y'all get involved in these video game fantasy worlds, Call of Duty and stuff like that. Um, and you have people that egg you on to go out and commit foolish silliness. But nobody ever tells you about the other side. Um, we'll talk about the dope game just for a minute. The dope game is over here in America. It's over. It's been over. The dope game was over when they started giving people football numbers. And a lot of you young guys and girls, y'all see what y'all think is the glamour and glitz. But nobody tells you about the other side. Your boys ain't going, when you get locked up, your boys ain't going to pay your lawyer fees. They going to be after your girl. You know that one with the big butt and the nice big old chest? Your main girl, your main squeeze, they going to be after. It's going to be the guys you was out there trapping with, trying to slide up in her. If you don't believe me, remember Tekashi 69 told on everybody because they was trying to talk to that woman that he had children with, or a child with. They don't tell you about how when you get locked up, they're not going to answer your phone calls, your close buddies. They're not going to send you nothing. They're not going to put money on their phone so you can call them. There's nothing cool about being locked up at 17 or 18 for the rest of your life. I'm telling you why the dope game and the street game is over. The streets is full of snitches and self-interested people. Period, point blank. If you think I'm not telling you the truth, just go out there and try. Think about this. The American government has gotten so bold that they're able to have kingpins from other countries brought here. Remember, it was two Mexican Americans here in America, in Chicago, that took El Chapo down. When they got caught, they ratted him out. They gave up their plug. And then their wives got up there and said, we was laundering the money. You know what I'm saying? The feds got up there and the women talked about money laundering and what have you. And he went from being able to do his time in Mexico to nobody even knows. They say one minute they say he's in the Florence Supermax, the next minute they saying he's in some kind of prison somewhere in New York, hitting underground. Wherever he is, he's gonna spend the rest of his natural life here in prison. It's gotten so bad that the Mexican drug lords are kidnapping each other and bringing each other to the borders to keep the American government off of it. The prison population is just like the streets. For my young people, y'all need to hear this. I see a lot of people, a lot of us, what you consider old timers, I'm a Gen Xer, 45, love to talk about when people commit certain crimes on the street, what's going to happen to them in prison. Well, guess what? The old school prisoners, the old school gangsters, they're dying out. Why? They dying out. Those youngsters are taking their habits from out here in the street and they bringing them back there. Tory Lanez got stabbed by a guy that's back there for sexual crimes. Now, what do they tell you? Guys that's convicted of sexual crimes don't have it easy in prison. And yet this guy was allowed to roam around and do what he did. At the end of the day, the streets is full of rats. It's full of people that's looking for information to sell and to trade. The prisons are like that now. When you get locked up, they want to know what you're here for. They want you to go out on the rec yard so they can go through your cell and read your paperwork. Because all they're looking for is a way out. Most people who go to prison in a dope game, these young dope dealers, they've never been punished. They've never been made to stay inside for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months. Most of them have never really gotten an ass whooped. So imagine you got a neighborhood full of dudes and chicks who've never been punished before. And you're going to tell them at 19 years old, you're going to spend the rest of your natural life in prison and expect somebody not to say something? Well, as people say, you know, the first 48, I know some people have made careers off making jokes about the first 48, but there's nothing funny about that. Because we're talking about a program where people are losing their lives. We're not talking about a program that shows just drug bust and somebody ratting somebody else out. These are innocent people in some cases that have lost their lives. There's nothing funny about making these jokes about people sitting down and for a hamburger they'll tell on you. That I don't think that's funny. Because somebody lost their life for that. What the first 48 has been, it has been a visual illustration of what dudes and chicks who've been around or who were real gangsters have been trying to tell the next generation. Too many of y'all ratting out here. I remember when the old timers started getting out, the ones who was alive, the ones who still had a little bit of money, the ones who decided to do something with their money. Hell, the ones who picked up a skill decided that they was giving the streets up. Said we can't hang with it. They won't give you 100 years. There's one thing if you get caught. You're not getting caught. Somebody you know close to you is ratting you out. Understand something. Your loved ones. We'll just go to your mama. When your mama got to come up in there and identify her 17-year-old son body. Because before they you and do what have you, you got to come make identification. Your mama got to come and identify you in the morgue or at the scene out there with the sheets and the yellow tape. And then she finds out that it was one of your close friends that either blew your head off or set you up to get your head blowed off. Or it was your girl that you were so in love that was in part of this game. To the youth, I'm gonna tell you guys and girls like this. Look, America is the number one destination for illicit drugs. Everybody know that. Everybody know that. If you're gonna sign up for the streets, make sure you know what you're getting into. That's what I say. Innocent people. I wonder when Sammy the Bull got arrested the first time with John Gotti and he told on everybody, how come they gave him immunity for all the murders? And somebody explained it to me. Those dudes were all gangsters that he killed. So people feel like society didn't miss nothing. Well, what about you? If you get out here and you lose your life, and the person that helped facilitate your murder gets immunity, and the law tells your mom you can't have justice because your son was a street dude or your daughter was a street person and nobody really cares about them, they're the dregs of society. These are the conversations we need to have because we get angry that these young people running around here with these guns, pulling carjackings and all this, but we never stop to think. Sometime in protecting yourself, you got to be proactive. You can't always be reactive. Sometime we avoid going to certain places to avoid a problem. We have a problem here in this country with the youth. This cuts across racial lines. We can't wait until they pick up a gun and go and commit a bunch of carnage to ask them what's the issue or to talk to them. You got to talk to them long before they do this. And by no stretch of their imagination am I a perfect parent. I deal with the same ills and traps that y'all do with y'all children. But I want the young people out there to understand. When you sign up for the street life, what you sign up for, and you have to be a man and be a woman when you get caught, and you have to take it. You can't get caught and then decide you want to tell on everybody now. It's not the right thing to do. You had awakening. No, you got to take it. You got to take the bitter with the sweet. You can't just have the sweet and give the bitter back. It's not how this works. You know, got a lot of young guys out here that's shooters, and they bragging about being shooters that are broke. Ain't got money to bond out. We're losing a lot of our youth to the dumbest things out here. To the young boys out there. Ain't nothing wrong with trying not to be a tough guy. I'm not saying you gotta let nobody mess you over, but you ain't gotta go out there and be tough to be somebody you're not. Let me racialize this. And this is where I'm gonna make some people uncomfortable, but I'm gonna give the breakdown. Black folk. Let me talk to y'all a minute. I think the dumbest thing you can do is force a guy or a girl to become a part of a criminal organization when you know they're not built like that. I think that's the dumbest thing you can do. You want to know why there's so much senseless crime out here? You got a bunch of cowards running around with guns. We always ask where they get these guns from if they got no money, but we never think about the people who make them pick these guns up. The people who let them pick these guns up. Some of the biggest athletes in this country, in this world, grew up in some of the harshest neighborhoods, and the real gangsters knew that that one had a specific talent and was going to get out of here, and they made sure to run them off the block. You can't be out here. I catch you out here, I'm going to bust your fucking head open. I ain't going to just tell your mama. I'm going to bust your head open. You can't be out here. I watch Gangland, and just throughout my research of meeting people around the country, I heard a lot of people say if you're born in a particular place, you have to be a part of this particular group or else. Everybody knows this dude can't fight. Everybody knows that this girl talk too much, and you're gonna make them be a part of your gang and then get angry when this dude runs out on y'all, or when he gets caught he tells on everybody, or these chicks that y'all out here chasing, when she gets caught she gives up the whole thing. When Julio Fulio was murdered, the girl, real quick after everybody got caught, she made the deal. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys everything. Some people made the excuse of, well, it's because she's pregnant. The point is, she took part in this crime. And when they got caught, she decided she was going to talk. Salute, salute. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for joining in. Destro? I look like a member of Hood. I'm retired from that lifestyle. I've never been jumped into a gang, if anybody's wondering. But I grew up in the hood. There was a time I used to be out there. I retired. I walked away with a clean record. I walked away with my life. I survived a lot of things. I seen a lot of things, and at the end of the day, I knew where it was going. Um, some of my closest people that was in that lifestyle, um, they left the planet. Um, I have several guys that I grew up with that I was real close with that got 2 and 3 life without parole sentences. When I talk to these young boys and young girls, I'm just talking from experience, and I'm talking from a place of not only seeing some of this stuff but being out there. Um, a lot of people inherited beefs and don't even know why they're beefing. Um, People might say why I shouldn't do this, but I'll say it anyway. I want to shout out Terrence Gangster Williams for whatever you think about the guy. Birdman's brother, I remember meeting him when I was young. And he was one of the most feared dudes, and still is one of the most feared dudes that ever took a breath of life in the city of New Orleans. He said something that I respect. When they asked him, did he regret anybody he ever put a gun on? He said no, because he never shot an innocent person. He never did nothing to a kid. Everybody he ever got into it with was into that lifestyle, and I can respect that. In the streets, you don't bother innocent people. In the streets, you don't do children. I can respect that. Whether you agree with that lifestyle or not, I can respect that. All this being hyped up to these young drug dealers out here now, they selling you weed and they full of mollies and Percocets and all that. When did that ever become a thing? Especially amongst black drug dealers. The main thing we knew was you don't get high on your own supply. That was one of the main rules. A person that's high can't think straight. So you definitely don't be out there. You guys, you got a pocket full of rocks or heroin or whatever y'all selling there, and you fucking standing there, you can barely function because you so full of Molly and Percocets and all this other shit. This is why y'all breaking in these women houses and raping these women and what have you. And then when you come to, you don't know what happened. You full of these damn sexually stimulating drugs, stuff we never thought of. But back to what I was saying. You got guys forcing other guys and girls to join these gangs, and then angry that they telling. Look, if the person was the type of person that wasn't involved in that in elementary school, they was always telling on everybody, they're not going to change as they get older. You'd be a fool to let them be a part of your group. And if you do, you get what you deserve. I've gotten to the point where I don't even get angry at people that rat anymore. Not because I despise it, but because it's not a secret anymore. Everybody knows what's going on. If you sign up for the drug life in this day and age, you deserve what happened to you. It doesn't matter what community you come from. I fit the profile of a drug dealer. I understand that. But what people don't understand is drugs touch everybody. I live in a city that's 0.6% black. And this was been the meth capital of the world for years, Marshalltown, Iowa. I was full of druggies. There ain't enough black people up here to blame that on us. Drugs touch everybody. Wall Street. All this cocaine on Wall Street, where it come from? Because we can't bring it there. But furthermore, let me get back to what I was saying. Black folk, you willing to die for a hood that you don't control. You don't control the politician. You don't control the law enforcement. You don't control the businesses. You don't own the majority of the property, and you're willing to die for it. Think about that just for 1 minute. I got Uptown tattooed on my arm. I'm from Uptown New Orleans. I was in that uptown, downtown stuff real bad. My relatives own property there, but I actually don't. You guys and girls, you willing to die for a neighborhood, as Brother Malcolm said. If you're gonna have a neighborhood, you're supposed to be able to control it. You won't supposed to be able to control the criminality, the politics, the everything else in your neighborhood. UPT, we in the building. And what do we control? Nothing. Y'all out there dying and going to prison for what? You can say what you want about every other group. Their community has an economy. Out there in the West Coast, your little Hispanic buddies out there that you, in Asian and whatever else they have out there, that you let run around you hollering, yeah, nigga this and yeah, nigga that. When y'all go to prison, he's going to be amongst his people. You're going to have to go amongst your people. When we get out, we got to go beg for a job. When he gets out, his community will put him to work. There's a Hispanic landscaper, if he's Hispanic, that'll put him to work. He can go on a construction site with a felony. And the Hispanic fella that's the supervisor will hire him. And they'll tell you, we can't hire you because you got a felony. Yep. Prison or grave. You're right about that, Tony. He has somewhere to go. The Asian guy, there's a Chinatown everywhere you go. All right, we got San Diego. Oh, eyes and ears got eyes and ears tactical here. Shout out to you, brother. Every other group up here in Iowa, the Meskwaki Indian tribe, they got a settlement. They got a community to go to when they get out of prison. What you got? You going back to a neighborhood that wasn't what it was. Let me say this. New Orleans now ain't nothing like the New Orleans I grew up in. We got bike lanes in places we used to beg for. We used to beg for bike lanes so we could ride bikes. Because riding bikes on the sidewalk would get us stopped by the police. A lot changed. You're going to go to jail for the hood and you're going to come back and the hood ain't going to be there no more. What are you out there for? What have you accomplished? You guys don't have nothing. Everybody got a talent. Somebody in the group knows how to draw. If you're going to use your drug money to get a business started, hey, understand, you can't be one forever. I don't care how much love you show people. Somebody going to set you up to get robbed and kill you, or you're going to go to prison for a long time. It's just that simple. When law enforcement tell you the drug life ain't nothing but death or life in prison, they mean that. Okay, yep. Shout out to you, brother. Enjoy yourself out there. say what you want about the Italian gangsters. When they go do their little stretch in prison, they got a community. They got an economy to keep them sustained. Every other group. Now, there's a group of youth that I need to address, and this is where I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers and get some pushback. Young white men in particular. Stop letting these dudes on these video games, Twitch and these headsets and all, stop letting them older dudes gas y'all fucking head up. Ben Shapiro and Stephen Chowderhead and Tim Pool and all, and Jared Taylor and Richard Smith, stop letting them dudes gas y'all fucking head up. They gassing y'all head up to be crash dummies. It's just that simple. Oh, we just talking about the youth, man. I'm just trying to reach out to the youth and tell them to don't throw their life away, man. Because everybody knows what black folks, what our youth is dealing with. Because our problem is a sanctioned problem to talk about. Here, everybody is welcome. But we talk about it across the board. It's just that simple. Stop getting... I didn't know. On these headsets, these guys and girls talk the way they do until one day, it was some years back. My son was up and visiting and playing a video game, and I think some kind of way you can Bluetooth them things to the TV or what have you, I don't know. And some of the language I heard, I was like, is that the video game? And he was like, no, that's people that's playing. Then I read an article, then I started paying attention. These Call of Duty and Fortnite and Halo and all these type of shooting games, you got a lot of hate being spread on these damn video games. And this is a conversation we got to have. Because white folk, whether you like it or not, it affects your community. It affects your community more than you think it does, but nobody talks about it. I'll talk about it. You can call me a race bait or whatever the hell you want. I'm just going to spit some facts. These kids get on there and they start playing these fucking video games, and they have these older dudes spewing all this racial nonsense, and you may not think it's a big problem until that kid decides to go to school and shoot the fucking school up. All that senseless violence. See, because if we can talk about the Skinny Jeans Mafia and Pookie and Ray Ray running around causing havoc, we got to talk about everybody. You can say what you want. It's not Pookie and Ray Ray that's airing these fucking schools out. And then you wonder why, when these fucking schools get aired out, the parents are saying that this don't happen and they're dumbfounded. Well, there's a problem you guys and girls need to address. You're right. We just have to have this talk. Is it an uncomfortable one? And where this intersects with us in the 2A community is, one of these days you can be at one of these schools, or in one of these grocery stores, or one of these churches, and one of these guys that's been a part of this nonsense, this on the 4chan and Stormfront and Twitch and all the rest of these sewages that they hang out on, you can possibly be there when they come there to shoot. I know I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there because some people defend it. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't go to protect. Kyle Rittenhouse was on video. Kyle Rittenhouse went out there looking for trouble. It's just the people he went to go shoot decided that they couldn't beat a gun. And he wound up shooting 2 white guys. That's not what he went out there for. He made that clear in a previous video. But he had visited these sewages, Twitch and 4chan and Stormfront and all these other places that they hang out on. All these goddamn keyboard warriors. All these YouTubians. Matt Walsh and all these people that talk like they fucking stupid. You better keep them away from your children. Because you know what? It's only a matter of time before they tell you something or tell your child something, and your child goes and airs one of these schools out and you wonder where he got that from. See, one thing about the hood, we can see our bad influences on the fucking corner. In suburban and white society, I just have to be blunt. You don't see your bad influences. They don't hang out on the corner, but they're there. Up here, I didn't even know what the fuck Narcan was until a cop told me. And imagine, I'm in the store, Quick Star, one day, just some years back, and cop comes in and I'm grabbing me something to drink, and he speaks and I speaks, and he just start talking to me. He tells me how frustrated he is about Narcan. I gotta fucking keep reviving people with fucking Narcan. I said, Narcan, what the fuck is that? Oh, when they get high on these opiates and overdose, we shoot them up with Narcan. I didn't even know what that was. That's an issue that they have in their community. Unfortunately, we've let the mainstream media tell you what you can and can't talk about publicly. So, my question to him was, well, instead of shooting them up with Narcan for the ones when they don't die, when you bring them back to life, how come you guys don't take them to jail like y'all did during the crack epidemic? And I was told by an officer because we were told to don't do that. We dropped them off at the jail and then throw them out of there. Narcan machines in San Diego County. You see what I mean? All I'm pointing out to the youth is, I welcome everybody. Yep. So everybody is welcome here, but we have to have a talk across the board. Because you know what? Some of us do live in places that's integrated, where our kids go to school that's multinational. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta have these discussions. It's a goddamn shame that we got to have these school drills where these kids have to have active shooter drills. I remember when we came up, we had fire drills at school once in a blue moon. These kids have to have active shooter drills. And the only reason it hasn't been stigmatized as necessary as it should be is because it's not black kids that's shooting these schools up. Let's just call it what it is. So these school shooter drills are not as stigmatized. But here in Iowa, last year we had that shooting in Perry. A lot of people who used to tell me up here in person that I was crazy and I was talking out the side of my neck came back and apologized to me because they were saying that stuff don't happen here. Perry is in central Iowa. It's not like a hop. It's not 10 minutes away from here, but it's about maybe 45 minutes or so from where I live. But the mere fact that it happened, none of us is immune to anything going wrong out here. We tell you about the carjackings and all that, fine. We also have to tell you when you go to the damn church, you need to be strapped. When you go to the mall, you need to be strapped. When you go grocery shopping, you have to be strapped. You can't be strapped in the school, but you need to pay attention when you're on school grounds. Shout out to my brother Eyes and Ears Tactical, because he had sent me a story, and he's in the chat room. I reviewed that story, and I showed it to my wife, and I read the article about the woman that bought gear, guns and ammo for her son to shoot the damn school up if he would babysit them children. Yeah. Let me go ahead and address that elephant that's in the room. The Latino community. Oh yeah, pause and play. You didn't hear that? Yeah, this woman bought her son all kinds of things to go and shoot the school up. in San Antonio, Texas, in exchange for him babysitting. Yes, yes, look it up, YouTube it. She's got like in the thumbnail, I think she's got like blue hair. She's got a tattoo that says 1992 on, I think, on her throat here. So I'm assuming she was born in 92. Yeah, she armed her son. This sex trafficking thing. We got to have that conversation. Um, because a lot of y'all participate. Not only y'all, because it's the customers too. But if we gonna talk about our demons, goddamn it, we got to talk about everybody's demons. We never gonna solve the problem until we can be publicly able to talk about everybody's problem and then figure out what's the fucking solution. Y'all know damn well y'all take a lot of them girls and traffic them. Up in Montana, Wyoming, if you've never been to those states, you don't understand how almost unpopulated these states are because they're gigantic. And there's two or three cities and a couple small towns, and that's it. Literally, it's the wilderness out there. You can drive for 100, 300 miles and never see a dwelling. That's just how unpopulated a lot of these Midwestern states are. All those kids that's been kidnapped at the border and what have you, a lot of them up here being sex trafficked. Down in the southern part of the country where these kids are being snatched, I just got to say what it is. The cartels, which is a euphemism for Mexican or Hispanic, they participate in a lot of this trafficking. But it's not just everybody that's into that game. It's not innocent. If you guys remember, when a lot of them made it to New York City, they will openly let them walk in Brooklyn and in Queens and what have you. There was wide open tracks. It was like Figueroa Street. Straight up. It was like Figueroa Street. And I thought Figueroa Street, when I seen it on YouTube, I thought that was this got to be the what is it, skit, or they got to be telling these girls, we're gonna record this, and y'all, there's no way that street is wide open like that with all the cops that ride up and down Figueroa, until I seen it for myself. And when I seen it, I didn't even know we was on Figueroa. I just started seeing these pretty much naked women standing out, shaking their booties on the corner and trying to flag cars down. And I was like, boy, this almost reminded me of something on YouTube I seen about Figueroa Street. And it was like, yeah, that's where we at. I was like, we showing the fuck is. To my Asians, I grew up in New Orleans. Everybody knew Chef Highway was the blade. Chef Highway was the fucking host stroke out there in New Orleans East. Them Asian massage parlors, when I was young, I didn't know what went on in them. Shout out to you, Pause and Play. You know what I'm talking about. To my brother, Eyes and Ears, you go down Chef Highway, that's the blade. One of these days, like I told you, when I get the chance, Eyes and Ears, I'm going to take you on a tour of New Orleans and the metro area. And I'm going to show you a lot of things about the exposed and the underworld that you probably don't know. So, the Asian massage parlors, I didn't know what went on there. I just thought there was massage parlors. Until people, when I became a teenager, started telling me, oh no, they traffic it. Well, those are those happy endings. That's how I found out what a happy ending was. I didn't even know what the fuck that was. It was like, oh, Those the massage parlors with happy endings. I say, what you mean? Oh yeah, you go in there and buy pussy. I was like, nah. I actually went in one to see how. Oh, in the back they got their little rooms for them to sleep in. They live there, and oh goodness gracious, so this shit really does go on here. Remember, there was a guy down there in Atlanta, in Georgia, I believe it is, that went and shot the massage parlor up and talked about how it ruined him because he basically was spending so much money in these massage parlors. Let me shift gears and go to California. And this is as a New Orleanian, as an outsider. I know out there in California, a lot of y'all grew up together. Asian, white, Hispanic, black, whatever. Y'all all, a lot of y'all friends with each other. It's not abnormal for people to see you have a non whatever you group from friend. Ask yourself as children, is it worth going out there and getting in trouble? And then the very same guys you go to prison with out here on the streets, you can't be their friends in prison. Even though they roll for you out here on the street, you can't be their friend because there's something different. You're going to join a gang where you got all the shot callers ain't never getting out. They going to be in prison the rest of their life. And they've accepted that. And they're going to tell you what to do with your 10 years. And you wind up getting 25 to life. Because they're going to tell you stab the prison guard. They're going to tell you if he comes on this side of the cafeteria, stick him because he don't belong over here. And this goes for all groups that get involved in this. I don't want to just make it seem like I'm picking on non-black groups. I'm talking to the black fellas. Now your Hispanic buddy who's out there slinging iron with you and that has your back, you can't talk to him now. You can't be his friend in prison because he's Hispanic. Not because he's done nothing wrong. Or Asian or what have you. That's the stupidest fucking thing I could have ever heard of. That I can't be somebody who I've been friends with 10, 20, 30 years. I can't be his friend because we're locked up now. Not because he did me nothing or because he got me locked up. I can't be his friend because he's not black or because he's not white or because he's not Asian or he's not Hispanic. That's fucking stupid. This is the life you guys and girls are possibly facing. To the ladies, let me talk to y'all for a minute. Because a lot of times when we talk about the youth and the underworld, the women always get a pass for a lot of the shit that they do. Y'all get abandoned. When you get locked up, your boyfriend definitely ain't calling. He might come to your first couple court appearances. That's it. Ain't no putting no money on no books for you. Ain't no coming to see you, making sure you good. You on your own, baby. You gonna hold these 10 years. He don't be bothered with you. That's a fact. If you don't believe me, I ask anybody that sees this broadcast. Go to the female prison, wherever you live. Go stand by out there on visiting day and tell me the difference between female on visiting day versus the male prison. The fucking male prison, you gotta get there early. They're around the fucking corner. At the male prison, tapping in, I'm about to hit the water hot. Yep. Yeah, appreciate you. Man, enjoy yourself out there. Because I'm going to probably be trying to go hit this damn hot tub here in a few minutes. But to my ladies, well, just watch Lockup. They talk about it all the time, how when we get locked up, our dudes on the street don't come see us. Don't send us nothing. I've talked to chicks that did time. That talked about how nobody showed up for them. Now I'm going to say this in closing, because this cuts across the board. Women fuel crime way more than they think they do. Because when women demand that they love the bad boy types, it encourages guys who may have thought otherwise to try and become a bad boy because he wants to pick of the little the young. Now these same women that love the bad boy type in their 20s gonna want the good type boys in their 40s and their 50s. So the bad boys will get to have fun with them when they nice, slim, and trim, and then they gonna want the upstanding guy to have them when they fat and out of shape and nobody want them in their 40s and 50s. I'm just throwing it out there. Some of y'all I heard some years back, I was playing a song and I didn't know that this had a cultural reference. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. If whether you're in the live or you see the rebroadcast, the replay, about Hispanic women when their husbands come home hearing Your Daddy's Home to Stay by Jermaine Jackson. I was playing that one day and I didn't even know in that community that is like how a lot of these dudes come home. And some of the women say they heard that song so much they didn't got tired of it because he's in and out the joint. Let me say this. When you're in the street, the only thing you thinking about your family is who I'm going to call if I get caught. That's what you think about when you think about your family in the street. If I get caught, who's going to answer the phone and won't hang up on me? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be my mom. But if she already sick of my shit, who else am I going to call? Look, young people. The streets is what you make it. Life is what you make it. If you want to be in the street game, if you want to run around and let people on Call of Duty gas your fucking head up where you can go shoot a goddamn school up and whatever you want to participate in, be my guest. Just understand when it's time to take the punishment, you can't regret it. Peyton Gendron up there in upstate New York, now that he's caught, he has some regret. All the rest of these school shooters that lived, that's going to spend the rest of their life in prison, every time you look up, they're trying to appeal. You know why they're appealing? Because they're trying to get out. They don't like the end result. It's hard for them to live with the end result. That as a teenager, they ran and shot the school up and they're going to spend the next 90 years in prison. I believe all our youth can think. And I understand, look, some people going to be a part of the streets. But I'm going to tell you this, the code of the streets ain't what it was. If you're going to get out there, expect eventually somebody going to rat you out or somebody going to set you up to rob you and kill you. It's just that simple. And don't be surprised when you find out it's somebody close to you, because there ain't no more honor among thieves. Period, point blank. The people in the community, they tired of y'all. Even down in other countries, because I read this is a worldwide movement, even in other countries, they tired of y'all. They tired of the fact that they're a shop owner in a small country. They're a shop owner and they can't open because they're afraid of being shot or being extorted or what have you. They're afraid to come out of their homes. They wish for the old gangsters. I'm telling you, I've read the articles. When I go in, I watch these videos online, YouTube and what have you. I go in the comment section because a lot of times people that live in these particular places pass genuine comments because they're there on the ground. I told you guys about Mexico, and I know people say, I shouldn't be speaking about it because of the power of the cartels, but I'm just being honest. What they were and what they are now is two different things. And even the people down there are saying it. Damn, there was a time when, hey, they would come out, we knew what they was, they would speak to us. As long as we didn't dabble in that kind of business, we didn't have to worry about nothing. Now it's to the point that they down there taking phones from people, and if you have a contact of somebody they say is their enemy, they're killing you on the spot, and they're doing this to young people. Knowing somebody can cost you your life now because their number is in your phone. It's just that simple. That's what the world has devolved into. And I'm trying to tell the next generation, this is the madness you're going to face. Now, if you're willing to accept the consequences, be my guest. But I'm going to tell you, if you're outside of America, there's a reason all these drug kingpins are kicking and screaming and fighting because they don't want to come to prison here. In America, when they tell you life, they mean life. In the most harshest conditions they can try and get you in. They don't plan on ever letting you go home. You're going to do hard time here. All these unnecessary murders that go on, for what? If this the game you gonna sign up for, like I said, whether it's the dope game, or whether it's the Call of Duty game, or whether it's the sex game, or whatever else game you want to sign up for, just remember this. After you spread your carnage, accept the consequences. But all groups got to understand something. You can't throw stones from a glass house. You can't tell me that John Tavius and the Skinny Jeans Mafia need to be stopped when the kids in your community are literally airing out fucking schools because they're angry about something. You can't throw stones from a glass house. You can't tell me about black on black crime when we got white kids literally mowing down 10, 15 of their class members at one time. You can't tell me that. You can't jump on me about rap music when at a country music concert you had 60 people murdered, 500 people injured. You can't do that. You can't throw stones from that glass house. You can't tell me about Shaniqua and them walking around showing their ass cheeks when you out here selling your little girls to little perverts, to perverts. You willingly selling your children and your women. You can't throw stones from a glass house. At the end of the day, we never gonna fix these problems until we talk about them publicly. And it can't just be one group, it's gotta be all groups, because we all have these issues. Drugs has touched every community on this planet. Violence has touched every community on this planet. We've gotten to a point where we feel like if we are away from a particular group of people, nothing can happen to us. And that is a false sense of security. And for those who believe that for so long, just remember, since last year, how many millionaires, how many celebrity homes, how these gated communities are getting robbed left and right now. And it's not from the group of people that y'all were taught were the criminals. You can be with us or you can be against us, but you can't straddle the fence. To the youth, I say, you ain't got to put the gun down. Just explain to us why you picked it up. That's all. Why your gun pointed up. It's hard for me to tell you to don't pick up a gun when I know you surrounded by them. My question is, when you picked it up, what did you raise it up and pull the trigger for? Was it worth it? Was it a real threat in your life? Yeah, it's that simple. Everybody's child is innocent and an angel. Yeah. If you have young people in your life you care about, talk to them. I understand we can't reach everybody. Some people, they just are what they are and they're going to be what they're going to be, and they've accepted that. I'm telling you, I lived around people who accepted they was going to die young. Hell, when I was a teenager, I was told I wasn't going to live to see 15. After I made 18, I said every year after that since has been Lanyard. The hardest part about the youth is the ones who accept real young that they're going to die young or spend the rest of their life in prison. And that makes them become dangerous. So since we have so many firearms available in the country, you can't tell them to put the guns down. Just ask them why the hell they got it pointed up. We can't stop them from picking them up. It's already too late for that. Let's get them to just not point them up. If we can stop that, maybe we can save a lot of this carnage and a lot of lives. I'm gonna let everybody enjoy the rest of the holiday weekend. I might do some more filming. I don't think I'm gonna do anything live uh, the rest of the day of tomorrow. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy your holiday. I just wanted to talk to the youth out there and let them know the pitfalls that's out here. If you're gonna sign up for the street life, if you're gonna sign up to be this, that, and the other, just know what the pitfalls are and accept them. And to every community, before you police another community, police yours first. You can't tell me stop and frisk was a good thing when it don't be implemented across the board, because guess what? There's a particular group of kids that's shooting up the schools. So if handling kids at school is a thing, well, make sure you handle them. Hit me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. I appreciate everybody for tuning in on this live stream. Uh, you guys may and may not agree with some of the things that I've said, and I can understand that. But anyhow, hit me in the comment section. Let me know what you think, everybody. And until next time, stay safe, stay armed, enjoy your holiday weekend. Have fun out there in California. My brother Eyes and Ears Tactical. Stay on high alert. We out.